listen to the music. I think it's far away in the background, right? You hear me well? Four, three, two, one. Hello, Dave. For what? Why? Why? Thank you, Marilyn. Hello, Claudie. Hello, Marika. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Dave. But you didn't have to, Marilyn. Thank you so much. It's very appreciated. Because YouTube told you to do it. Now I'll have to do another live stream. Hello, Dan. How's it going, everyone? I have so much going on right now. Well, not that I have so much going on. It's more like I've had a long week. After telling my boss that I was leaving, it's been a weird week. Kind of week where, I kind of have to start showing other people what to do with what I was doing because the way it works at the hospital, they have, as soon as I am leaving my position is free for taking, but it has to go through so much, so many different hands. My boss has to make sure that she still wants to replace me, and obviously she does because there's a new project coming. It would have been fun to do. It's just it was time for me to move on. Um, so she had to come back from. She was at a conference in California. She came back. She had to check everything and confirm that she wanted to have someone to replace me. So that's been done, and there's a bunch of paperwork involved. Um, I will stop the song now. There's a lot of different hands that have to go through my file or my position, I should say, um, where it has to go through my boss. It has to go through the HR department. They have to approve it, but then it has to be approved by the pharmacy director, um, which we already know she will approve, but it has to go through her hands anyway, and she has to sign the paperwork, send it back to the HR. They have to send it to staffing. They have to do something, and then it goes back to HR, and then it goes back to my current boss, um, so that she can either approve or reject everything that's been going on during that time. And then once she accepts the position, um, the deadline is on a Tuesday. So if it's not ready by Tuesday, well, by Monday night, it will not be um, posted until the following week. And they're all going on vacation during the holidays. So between Christmas and New Year's, they're off. Um, so my boss did what she had to do this week. It's just a matter of, is everything going to be ready by Monday night? I doubt. Um, but I have to start showing the stuff I am doing to someone, but nobody's free to learn. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody has their own job, and it's hard. And not only it is hard in that aspect, but it's also hard because I started giving some of the tasks I was doing to other people. I have to teach. Um, she's not really a manager. She's more like a technician coordinator. Um, but I had to start giving her a little bit of paperwork to do so that she would at least know what I was doing in case nobody would replace me, or to be able to train whoever comes in. And by doing that, I end up having nothing to do, which kind of sucked because they have the right to keep me for a maximum of 6 weeks. because I am in the union and all that, and I'm going to another union job and so on. Hello, Suzanne. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a nice start to the weekend. Hope your week was awesome. Um, so it's kind of sometimes we say win-win situation, but in this case, it's kind of a lose-lose situation because when I teach someone to do something and then they start doing it, they have to train, they have to practice while I'm still there to show them, you're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. And all I do is sitting there and, doing nothing. Well, I don't want to say doing nothing. It's not true. Like I still have a few, sorry, I burped. I still have a few like tickets open with the service desk. I still have a few issues to fix before I go, a few files that I have to close before I'm done. And next week, the last week before Christmas, is usually like a very, very, very busy week. We get a lot of different patients leaving for holidays. And you're wondering why would people leave for passes during the holidays? Well, we have the mental health institution. Most of the patients are there. How can I say that? I don't want to say the wrong words. Some of them are there because they committed crimes that caused them to be there and have an evaluation and all that. But they won't leave unless they have a psychiatrist, saying that they're fine to go home. Some of them were, I don't want to say born in the system, but they were born with mental illness that made them spend their lives there. Some of them live there long term, for as long as they can probably remember. And what happens is they still have families. So they go during the holidays to see their family. And we, as a pharmacy, we have to prepare their medication. But imagine about 100 patients. Let's say that 50% of them are leaving, because obviously the ones that just came out of prison or whatever, getting their evaluation, whoever's there to get the evaluation are definitely not leaving. But all the other ones, well, not all the other ones, but like 50% maybe are leaving for a week. So that means about 50 patients will need to have medication done in a specific way for them to be able to go home. So we have to prepare the medication so that it's safe for them and their family. Sometimes we have to do those blister packs that we call, where they see this, okay, Monday I have to take that cell in the morning. So they open that up and all the medication they need for the morning are in that cell. And then they have one for noon, one for supper, one before they go to sleep, that kind of thing. So it takes a long time, but my responsibility right now is to make sure that all the controlled medications, all the narcotics, all the benzodiazepines, Ativan, clonazepam, codeine, morphine, dilaudid, and so on. All those medication, they're under my responsibility. I have to make sure, and yeah, I do too, Dave. I have to make sure the quantities we have on the shelves are good. So when we have a bunch of patients like that leaving, what we have on our shelves will go on the floors regardless, because they have to keep a certain amount of medication there. But I also have to make sure that all the patients going on a pass, that we have what it takes to cover for them. So starting Monday, it will be getting ready, making a bunch of big orders of medication, unpacking that stuff, putting that on a shelf through the system, because as you know, all controlled meds are controlled, which means that we have to count them all, put them in. We have a narcotic vault. They're in the vault. Nobody can access it. They have to be accounted for. Like I said, we have to count them every week and so on. Um, but now we used to have a contract with a sole distributor. Things have changed this year. They're different companies now, and some of those companies are closed during the holidays, which means that obviously as a hospital we never close, and we need to have medication for that time when they are closed, because we can't order any of those medications anymore. So starting Monday until next Friday, it will be crazy amount of orders, checking through the system to make sure all the medications we have are fully stocked on our shelves. And there's going to be a lot of different uh, patients leaving on vacation or with their family. We call that a pass. They're going on a pass. Um, and everything happening at the same time. It's going to be a crazy week. And then after Christmas, I have 3 days of work. And with all the sick leaves, all the vacations, and obviously a lot of people are taking time off, they accepted some vacation before knowing that some people would come in with medical paper. So now they're kind of stuck. So we even have pharmacists doing technical jobs. Um, I don't know if you realize how bad it is, uh, but it's like taking a school teacher to drive the kids back home on a bus. Kind of. Um, I don't want to make comparison, but it's just if you don't know, um, the pharmacists, they go to university for 5 to 7 years. Us as a technician, we go for 1 year college. And for them to have to do that job, it means that we are really stuck. So therefore, I am on the floor. I'm not assigned to my position. I'm not doing my job. I will be doing something else. So the 3 days week will be going fast like crazy. Then I come back and there's only 9 days left before I'm done. Trust me, I'm counting the days. Like the first time, I was second guessing myself. Always wondering. It's always behind your head. Are you doing the right thing? Are you doing what's best for you? Are you doing what's best for your family? What was best for my family has always been to make sure that my job is secured, to be sure that I bring in as much money as I can, bring the food, which is why I'm homesteading, which is why I'm gardening, foraging, hunting, fishing, and so on, farming and gathering eggs and, raising animals and so on. That aspect is going well. I can't say anything bad about that. I mean, this year I took a step back. I took it a little bit slower. It went better than it did the previous year, because obviously I'm still here smiling, and I didn't have any mental breakdown. I didn't have any mental fatigue. I didn't get tired mentally. Like, I'm doing great. Yeah, I have a moose, a deer. I have like half a pig, which is about 250 pounds of pork in my freezer. 39 chickens, 5 turkeys, about a dozen rabbits, a few grouse. It's just in the meat department, I'm good to go. Like, I'm good for maybe even more than a year. I still have some trout and bass from last year, but it's pretty much time that we eat it. Like, it's vacuum sealed. It can last up to 2 years, but after a year, it's time that we think about eating it and going through it. I went to the grocery this evening, and I was able to find some am at $5.97, and that's not even Walmart. It was where was it? IGA. They had those. They were not like the full round ham thing, smoked ham, but they were the same size. It was like a quarter of a big one, but it was still. I bought two, and two is going to be enough for a meal for us, for a family of 7. So I'm able to save money on a few things like that because now I have a little bit more money. Well, not me, but my girlfriend does. She has a little bit more money set aside for food because we save so much. I mean, we don't have to buy meat almost. We'll buy ham and maybe some chicken wings once in a while, but that's it. If we go to the store and we see something different like duck or elk or anything like that, maybe we can think about buying some. But other than that, we're good. Vegetables and fruits, we still have some in our freezers. So for my family, all that food is a security, and staying in the union for my new job is another thing that is making keeping my family safe. And one of the things that stressed me the first time was the fact that I was getting out of the union. There are some goods, there are some bads, but I know that no matter what, they cannot fire me unless they have like very, very bad stuff against me, which they will never have because I'm not a bad person. I have the union to protect me. I will be going there doing my job, and I know I'm going to be fine. But this time, even if I was second guessing myself, with everything that happened in the last 2-3 days, I'm no longer second guessing myself. One of my colleagues asked me today, if you knew that you would get a raise here, would you stay? Because of course they're trying to navigate around the fact that I'm leaving to trying to drop some seeds, like my boss likes to say. You drop a seed, you get that person thinking, and that's what they were trying to do with me. Well, we're talking about maybe doing the original job. Well, maybe the boss, the director right now is working on trying to raise the salaries and so on. And I looked at my colleague. I said, no, even if the job that I'm going to was the same salary as what I have now, I would still be leaving. And I told her, she is my superior. She's not really like the boss of the department, but she's still on top of me. And I told her, I said, look, I can put the blame on anyone here, saying that this person is a bully, this person is this person is that. I can put the blame on what happened to me, the fact that I can't have a private office, which played a big role in my decision, because where I'm going, I will finally have a window to look outside, and I will finally have my own office. But at the end of the day, it's my decision. I'm doing this because I feel like I need to move on. I don't feel welcomed. I don't feel like this is my family. I don't feel home at my current job. So, and there are a few things I don't want to talk about that happened today, that made it clear that I have to go. And if any one of you wants to know, I will gladly tell you offline, just not on a live stream, because I'm still under contract with my current employer, and I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, and that's not why I'm here. So just to say, to resume what I was talking about, I am changing job. I will start on January 15, which means my last day at my current job is January 12th. I'm really anxious to go. I will be paid a little bit more, and I don't think I will have any issues taking the vacations I want to take because there's no hunters in my future new colleagues. So, yeah. And the next few weeks are going to be crazy busy. And the last 2 weeks are going to be boring as hell because I will have to give my task to someone else, and I will be there just to look at the wall for the last 2 weeks just because they're allowed to keep me for 6 weeks, and they will do so. And chances are they will not have a chance to hire anyone else. And yeah, I will have to give all my tasks. I won't have anything much to do, and it's gonna suck. I agree. Change is good. It's always scary. Like, whenever you do something different, nobody can say that it's not a little bit, like, you always have doubts, right? I suppose it's normal. You have doubt. Like, there's a few people in the chat right now thinking, like, should I quit my job to go homestead full time? You have doubts. You see, I will let you know, Marilyn. I will let you know. You have doubt. Is that right move? I guess you never know until you do it. But the way I see it right now is I'm doing this risk free. So, and it's pretty much the same thing as my channel. I was talking last week about how I was hoping to change a little bit the tone of my channel. Instead of just showing the homesteading stuff, the farming, the gardening, I want to start doing a little bit more about being in the wild, foraging a little bit more, survival stuff, how to make a shelter, spend a night in the woods. This is something I'm hoping to be able to do this winter, but it will all depend on what I get for Christmas. And because I asked for a few things, and depending on what I get, it will decide if I have the proper equipment to go spend time in the woods in the winter. If I don't, I am not 100% sure I will have the money to buy everything I need. And like, if I get one or two things, then I just have to buy the one or two things that are missing. But if I don't get anything that I ask for, my mom keeps buying me nice stuff, so whatever she gets me, I will be happy. But just saying that maybe I will not have enough money to buy the 4 things or 5 things that I need to spend one night in the woods. I am hoping to be able to do something different for sure. I was talking to a colleague of mine today, Grizzly Adams of New Brunswick. I was talking to one of my colleagues that goes very often up the mountains on the Quebec side, in the Gaspésie. Marilyn probably knows, like, Mount Albert, and no, it's not a wink wink for Claudie and mommy. No, it's just that I give a list of things to buy to my mom, and I told my girlfriend that I have my wish list on Amazon, and if you want to get some ideas, you can go and look on there. But I have a bunch of different teas. I have a bunch of different things. One of the things I would like to have is a pot that I can cook in on a fire. And another thing I need would be a grill that I can put, just like the metal frame that I can put on top of the fire to put that pot on. So that way I can make a fire, because I already have the equipment to go out in the wild, make a fire. I know what kind of wood to look for, and this is all the kind of stuff I want to show. How to take the trees around me, how to use whatever I have around, make a fire, make a little shelter. I have those electric chainsaw. You probably can't see it, but I have another one. It might still be in the back of my Jeep, but those Sacker chainsaw are pretty handy for things like that. Might have to tighten it up a little bit. It's working pretty well. It's pretty amazing, actually. I don't want to put my hand on there because it would literally cut my hand off. And it has a little handle here to protect my hand. But I have another one in the back of my Jeep. This one is a 4-inch. I have a 6-inch. I can probably take it out. No, okay, it seems to be still pretty tight. But I'm going to have to tighten it a little bit more. I have all the tools I need to tighten it. I just have to open this here and stretch it a little bit. But this is a project for another day. I was sponsored by them for that stuff, but they're not sponsoring me for talking about it in this live stream, just so you know. I want to take one of those chainsaw, just go out in the woods and cut myself a little shelter, and hopefully spend one night there. Take a tarp, build something. I mean, there's a lady on the Quebec side. I was talking about her last week. She's in her 60s, I'm guessing. I don't want to disrespect her. She might even be in the 70s, or, anywhere between 50 and 70. And she does that. And if she can do it and not be afraid, there's no reason why I should be afraid, especially if I can bring protection. January, February, I am still allowed to bring some sort of protection because the hunt is still going on. I'm still allowed to go out hunting. So I know a few different ways that I can make a nice, safe shelter. Sleep in a sleeping bag, even if I have my boots on and so on. So it's something I'm hoping to do, even in the summer. Maybe build something a little bit higher on the ground, higher than the ground, like higher in a tree somewhere. Just build something quick to be safe from any animals. That could be any predators on the ground or so on. I know bears can still come, but they don't really come after us around here anyway. Not if I don't go in their territory. No, and what I would love to see would be caribou. Caribous are abundant in that area. Well, I say abundant. I mean, maybe more than the amount of deers we have here, and we still see deer once in a while. So maybe, I went there in Mount Albert once when I was in grade 8. It was a school trip on a Saturday morning, and I really, really enjoyed. Basically, the mountain is so high that you can be sweating in your shorts before you leave down below at 30 Celsius. And when you arrive on top, you go through the clouds and you arrive on top, and you might need like a winter suit on, Ski-Doo suit, which is kind of crazy because it can be plus 30 Celsius, around 85 Fahrenheit down. And when you get up, it can be below 10 Fahrenheit, around 25 Celsius below zero. So you have to be prepared. You can't just go there on your own. You have to know what you're doing. I've been there. I know what I have to do. You have to bring, certain amount of snacks, water, and so on, clothes, so you can stay warm and dry. um, things like that. Starlink and solar generator for lives in the bush. Yeah, it's not really about living in the bush. It's mostly showing how to survive. Um, Nobody wants to spend one night in the woods thinking you're lost and that you have to fight for your life. But it's good to be prepared. Um, I would even like to build a little cabin in the woods. It doesn't need to be something very fancy. It doesn't need to be something like ridiculously amazing, like a real camp. I just need to build a frame solid enough to hold the snow, and then take a small wood stove in there, seal everything with plastic if I have to. Obviously, not around the wood stove, but between the walls, and I can do something for very, very, very cheap. There's a Slab Shack video that my buddy did um, a few um, a few steps away from his house, and it's a nice place to go for a little party. Spend some time with friends and so on. If he was able to do it behind his house, I can certainly do it in the middle of the woods. I might have to bring like a few pallets there and a few things like that, but it's doable. Huga Homestead, thank you so much for stopping by. Nice to have you here. Tracy, hello, hello. You finally made it. For some reason, your schedule is busy on Fridays and mine is busy on Thursdays, and we keep missing out on each other's lives. But it's cool. It's cool. Saying hi to each other, saying hi, snack on. Yep, they are important. Because you can use a lot of energy going up. I remember, in grade 8, I was in very, very good shape. And I think I did the way up in about 3 hours and a half. And I've been jogging for a little while. Like, there's a few places you can actually go a little bit faster. On our way down, I think it took around 45 minutes, but we've been running like crazy all the way down, which didn't give us anything much because once we were down, we had to wait for the teachers and all the other people to come back. But, sit down next to the bus and take a nap. It was nice down. It was cold on top. But you use a lot of energy, spend a lot of calories, so you need to have something decent in your stomach. Doing lives in the bush. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Naked and afraid, New Brunswick. I will not be naked, that I promise. I will probably be afraid a little bit. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I will not be naked. Someone I know got lost, I think it was, in those mountains and finally found a way out. Got to stay at the hospital for a long time because of frostbite. Oh, yeah. My girlfriend's cousin is married to a guy that was in the army. And obviously, being in the army, you learned a few tricks. But he was coming back. Anyone around me in New Brunswick would probably know what the Island Lake is. It's a snowmobile club. Well, they have some cabins. You can still go there in the summer. They have a nice lake. You can go fish. But in the winter, you can drive there in the winter, and a lot of people go there driving skidoos, snowmobiles. And they were coming back from there, and he missed a turn, and he almost killed himself. And he says he remembers getting up after the accident. For some reason, he removed his gloves to remove his helmet, and then he passed out. And they found him, like, I don't know how long after. I don't want to say anything that's not true, so I won't say, but it was obviously long enough because his fingers froze. He had frostbite. And he was showing us pictures of him after, being at the hospital and everything. And you could literally see from one picture to another, his fingers were turning black and they were falling off. I'm sure it's not fun. They had to take some of his toes to put them on his hands. So he has some toes on his hands. I mean, he can write, he can drive a car, no problem. Obviously, it's not the same as having real long fingers, but I'm sure he's just happy to be alive, and he can still come and play softball with us. Obviously, he's not a superstar because, I mean, you can't hold the bat the same way like a good player would. You can't throw the ball as hard because you don't have those long fingers to grab the ball properly. Um, you know, there's a few things that you can't do, but it's still pretty cool that he's able to do those things. And I'm sure that, if it were to happen again, he would probably not take his gloves off. But you never know what can happen. Things happen fast. So it's always good to be ready, always be prepared. Usually I go in the woods. I don't go too far. If I go with my Jeep, I even tell my girlfriend where I'm going before I go. I'll be driving around the houses there somewhere, or I'm going in the Southeast, or, I'm going to the Highland Lake, or I'm going to see my parents at their trailer or whatever. If something happens, someone knows where I am, roughly. They shouldn't be looking for me for more than 24 hours. And if I'm in my vehicle, unless it's the winter, I shouldn't be freezing. So I usually have water, and that's pretty much it. I mean, stuff to change a tire, but yeah, no worries. I know that life happens, and I'm sorry. Now he brings snacks more than he needs for the smallest hike. Yeah, I just go sit behind the house next to a fire. It's only like 10 meters away from the house, and I'll bring like a bag of chips, a few beers, like small walks. During hunting season and got turned around on land behind the homestead. I was never really worried because to get out of this chunk of woods, you just walk straight. The sun was obscured. Yeah. It's always good to know your surroundings before you go. The location we go when we go deer hunting, we have a river on one side, a paved road parallel to it. We have an ATV trail on one side, and not too far on the other side, you would either hit the cuttings or you would fall on the paved road again. So the longest you can stay lost if you just keep walking straight would be like maybe an hour. So it's good to know your surroundings, because I'm so used to go hunt in that territory that I don't even bring my GPS anymore. I have my phone that worst comes to worst. I'll just put like the Map My Run thing or the Google app where it's telling you where you are. And I would know if I have to drive to walk in a specific direction. I always have my compass on just in case, but I don't really need it in those territories. I used to go hunt in a different place though, that you were going in a road like this. There was a road parallel to it, but if you were walking on that side, on the right side, you could walk for miles and miles and miles before you ended up at another big road. And if you don't know where the road is, or even if you have to walk for 15, 20 miles before you get there, 35, 40 kilometers, you have a chance to spend the night in the woods if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where you are. So you always have to be ready. For years, I bring a way to start fire with me all the time. Fire can be life. Exactly. And we were having a conversation, my cousin and I, and, just one of those random conversations that we have between bros. And one of the things that we agreed on is humanity started evolving as soon as we found fire. Fire is life, because think about it. When we accidentally discovered fire, then we didn't have to worry about predators because they were afraid of fire. We could use that for light during the night. It could be used to cook the meat and kill some bacteria, which would make us live longer. We could build a fire and feel safer and worry about something else, worry about trying to find a solution to dragging a dead bison to the camp, and that's how they discovered the wheel, for example, or things like that. But when you think about it, it all started with fire. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad thing. That's up to discussion, but that's where it all started, kind of. So anyone doing anything special this weekend? I know tomorrow morning I want to go to the farmer's market. I have to go buy some beeswax because in my online class, she wants to show me how to do, what is it that she wants me to do? I don't even know what it's called. No, I will be using, olive oil, beeswax, cayenne pepper, and do some sort of a mixture. It will be done on a live stream, well, not on a live stream, on a FaceTime call at the stove. So this is what I will be doing. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to the farmer's market to buy that. I also have to finish some of my Christmas presents, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. Clody, don't listen. You don't need to know who I am shopping for. But I have to go to town to finish one or two presents. I found some cool stuff today at Walmart. I will not say anything because my daughter's probably still watching. I don't want her to know. I bought a little tiny something for all my kids. It's pretty cool. And I can't wait for Christmas to be able to use mine because I bought one for myself. Kids come downstairs. Yeah, Fred Flintstones. I have one of those Flint, and I almost purchased a bag. It was called like 10 essential things you needed to go in the woods. I think it had like a tarp, rope, flint, one of those. I don't think they're aluminum, but something similar that you can put around yourself if you ever get wet or if you have to keep your body warm and things like that. There was like one of those tools. I think it had like some sort of a knife on one side and a compass and a little thing to measure, and I don't know. I have no idea what it was really, but there was a few things in there, and I thought about it, but I figured I was going to wait until after Christmas. Maybe if my girlfriend is listening, maybe she'll go to Walmart and buy it for me. It was around $20. Just kidding, baby. Vitamins. No, it was not. Sunday I have Wendy's family's Christmas and my daughter's. Nice. It's true. It's already starting. A lot of people will be celebrating either Christmas or just spending time with their families because, it's not everyone that has the chance to have family nearby. Or I know nowadays a lot of families are split up. So you have a couple that has one kid together, one kid with an ex there, and one kid with the ex there, and they're trying to schedule everything around so that they can spend time with their parents that are also separated. So they want to have the 3 kids with the mother, 3 kids with the father, and then they have to go there with that family and those grandfathers, and they end up having like Christmas like every 2 days until like from now until like January 15, which I guess must be exhausting. But then again, the most important thing is to spend time with the family. So it doesn't matter how you do it, but what's important is how. No, it's not how you do it. The most important thing is actually being there with the family. We're kind of lucky that way that my parents-in-law were here last week. We just had like the one meal with the family, with them. We opened our little Christmas presents there. And then we have something with my parents and my brother, sister-in-law, and the kids. Usually on the 24th, we go and my parents. On the 25th, we go to my girlfriend's parents. But this year they're not around, so we'll go with my parents 2-3 days in a row, I guess. I don't know. There might be something going on at my no-one's family, like their cousins and so on. They usually do a little supper. We might end up going there, but it's always fun to spend time with the family. Yeah, I have to do that too. Claudie is usually the one that likes to do all the wrapping, but obviously she can't do her own gifts. Someone has to do it, and every gift that we give to the kids that are the same for everyone, obviously we don't want them to see. So we're not going to give Claudie a gift that we're giving to Lucas and get Lucas to wrap the same gift for Claudie. Like it doesn't make sense. So Claudie, instead of an A, it's an E. Claudie. You don't pronounce the last letter because I in French is E. Rémi. In French, my name would be Rémi. You say Rémi, but obviously the I is for E. Rémi. And the same thing for Claudie. You just don't pronounce the E because the feminine in French usually has an E at the end. You didn't know that, Tracy, did you? My fire starter pack has a couple small personal size Perels and magnesium flint stick and cotton balls. Coat the cotton balls with a Perel and spark it with a stick, and you can start your tinder easily. Yeah. There's also a few different things you can use in the woods. If you have spruce or cedars around, especially spruce, you can take I have a blank on what it's called, but is it the salve, or like if you make a little cut in the tree, you'll have that dripping. And yeah, lichen is also another good thing you can use. And those will make nice fires. Yeah, like the spruce gum or sap. Yeah, sap. I guess it's sap and for pine, spruce, and cedar as well. To my daughters, I am taking oyster dressing. Nice. Oyster dressing. That's cool. The only time I can put Christmas music. Twisted Sisters Christmas music. Twisted Sisters. Lichen, gum, sap. All those things will do very good to a fire. And there's nothing wrong in bringing a few pieces of paper just to help with starting the fire. I mean, if you have one newspaper, sorry, I'm nodding, but it might sound weird, but having newspaper in your backpack is very light. It can protect some of the stuff you have in there. Like if you have a mug to boil water, for example, it might stop it from, hitting something else you have in your backpack. You have your knife or compass or anything like that. It might break. It might chip your knife. But if you have things wrapped in the newspaper, it will protect some of that stuff. And funny enough, the newspaper can keep you warm not only by helping make a fire, but also if you um, have the fire going without the newspaper, you can use the newspaper like around you under your clothes to help you keep the warmth in. It will really be a nice way to keep the warmth in. Not really here, Tracy. Money is very rare. Um, we have an expression in French, and we say "aussi rare que la marde de pape," which means it's as rare as the Pope's poop. um, which means it doesn't happen often, and when it happens, you're not gonna find it. um, Money is almost as rare as that because everything is crazy. I was able to find a nice piece of AM for $5.97. I'm so proud of that. It's crazy. Yeah, definitely not here. Definitely not here. By the way, in about 7 minutes, Scott Rambling with the Brooms is doing a live stream. He's got this open mic kind of night. If you want to make a few more friends, a few more followers, it's not a bad thing to jump on and go have a chat. I will probably end up soon, and you'll be redirected to his live stream anyway. Yeah, plastic bills. I'm not sure exactly what they're made of, but they're definitely not as papery as the American money. But hey, it is what it is. I don't make the decisions. Oh, God. I'm yawning a lot. I don't know why. Oh, I get why I'm having so much messages. Just a second. Yeah, so I with the online class I'm taking about medicinal plants and foraging and so on, it's allowing me to have like an extra free group class on Friday evenings, I should say. It starts an hour before my live stream, but number one, I forget. Number two, I'm usually like taking a bath or a shower or getting ready for my live stream. And yeah, number three, I forgot. No, that's number one and number three at the same time. So that's why I have a lot of conversation going on my Facebook. We're talking about the class. I still didn't have time to finish the video from last week's class, but it's pretty cool. Really, you're learning about where the plant comes from, where the plants come from, where the medication comes from. We all know that the medication comes from a compound in the plants, but it's pretty cool to know that we have one of the pharmacists that would swear by the anise seeds. You have a cold, anise seeds. It'll be after you. You would think that he's got shares in anise seeds company somewhere because he swears by it like all the time. And funny thing is, I don't know if you know about the Tamiflu, a medication, which is a medication they will give, especially to the elderly people that will come to the hospital because like they have a serious cold. Tamiflu is an antiviral medication. The Tamiflu comes from the anise plant, which is kind of cool. And the pharmacist that swears by the anise seeds did not know that. And when I told him, he's like, "Oh, so you're saying I'm a genius without knowing it, right?" Like he's always joking with that kind of stuff. But it's pretty cool that anise seeds is something that we can buy at the grocery store, pretty sure, or in a natural product store. And it's actually, it has a lot of antiviral properties for cold and flus. Did you see if you can remove the heart before lives? What heart? Wickershire Project Off-Grid. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a long time. Nice to have you here. Planning in December in TN. Would that be Tennessee? Jealous? Be jealous. Of course I am. Testing out Swiss chard, carrots, kale, any crucifera in a cold frame. Cool. I am definitely jealous. But we don't have snakes and spiders that can kill you here. That's the only good thing we have, because, well, right now we don't have snow. We're expecting like big amounts of rain on Monday. So like the tiny little crust of whitish snow that we have on top of the grass, we still see some grass, but it's all going to melt away. And I'm not mad about it, because I am dreaming about a green Christmas. When people sing the song, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, I keep singing, I'm dreaming of a green Christmas. I would love to have a green Christmas. Yeah, Dave can grow a lot of stuff in the winter too. I guess we could do it, Marilyn, if we had a nice, strong greenhouse, which we don't. But it doesn't mean that we can't do it. Having the frame, I guess I could put the plastic around it and build something strong, so that I could have, a nice frame, plastic, nice soil, and I could grow some stuff in the winter. It's something we could work on. 60 Fahrenheit days, 40 nights, but the frames will be double layered and insulated. Nice. 40 nights, that would equal to about 6-7 Celsius. We are below the freezing temperatures here at the moment, but Monday, like I said, it's supposed to rain, so we will be a few degrees over it. In the chat, someone on Tracy's live yesterday said that it was possible to disable it before the live. Really? That would be awesome to know. Live chat. Community moderation. I have a few options here. I don't even know what they are. But I don't see engage with your audience. Cool. A few options I didn't even know I had. True. I get the same weather as Wickershire for weather. You're lucky. I was out for 3 months until we made enough of YouTube donations. It sucks that your PC died, but it's cool that, if you were able to find an alternative, cool. I'll have to, let me see. Go to channel. I know I'm subscribed, and when do you don't have any live streams yet? Okay. I will watch some of your videos, and I will share Full Harvest. Let me share that, just because, I want to share it. Create post. There. I felt like I needed to do that for some reason. This is Christmas spirit, I guess. It's my project once a panel that is missing on my greenhouse is on. Cool. I wish I had enough money to buy those plastic roofing panels, and I'd be able to make a beautiful, nice greenhouse. I have one right now. I have an old cardboard frame that I give to Selge. I just need him to come and pick it up. I know he can probably make a nice little greenhouse with it on his property, but I want to build something stronger that can survive our winters here. Because even if it's cold, lettuce and kale and spinach will still grow. And you have a few more plants that will definitely grow in the winter, especially in a greenhouse. Now you might have to go once in a while, um, you know, remove the snow from the sides, but it's doable and I know how to do it. I spent a lot of time learning in the last couple of weeks. Live stream settings. I could remove it. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a way to remove that. Customization. Live reactions. Oh, that's it. That's all you have to do. So you go in studio, edit the details on your live stream, customization, and then live reactions is what you have to unclick. Oh my god. Okay, like as much as I like seeing people giving me like little hearts and stuff like that, it sucks when you're trying to pin something or you're trying to reply to someone or trying to see a comment that is hidden behind that little tiny heart thing. Oh, I'm sorry, people. I will try to think about removing that from now on. I hate it too. You will do well with a greenhouse, a homestead by the beach. You have learned from a young age. Yeah, we have a master to learn from now, Dave. You'll have to show some more videos on the greenhouse. Show us detailed videos on what you did, how you did it, and what we can do to be at your level. Because you're supposed to be our teacher. You're supposed to be our mentor. Gil, my neighbor, used a cheap greenhouse. You know, $20 ones. They hog all over Amazon. I tried. It fried all our tropical plants. Only the goji berries made it. The goji berries I try to plant around here don't even make it. They don't even survive the summer. So I wonder, does it really need to have like really, really warm weather? It's supposed to be zone 4, the one I have here. It should survive, but it doesn't. Yay. You are welcome. Yeah, that happened to you, Tracy. It didn't happen to me. Oh, that sucks. That was not nice. I'm sorry, Tracy. No, but I know what you mean. Like you're trying to click on the comment to block it or to remove it, and you have that thing in the way. Like I know. I really know. Trust me. They were heated greenhouse, oh, Nave, on propane. I will have it live at 2 p.m. in the greenhouse when it's 23 Celsius. You do that. You do that. Tomorrow, you mean? I had to remove my plastic because the wind alone was rough on the plastic, and the wind alone was tough on my frame. I just have to make sure if we have a lot of snow this winter that the kids don't go and walk on it. but I put the plastic down, but I kept it there because it's attached under my wooden frame that I built like inside of it. So I just put it down so that the snow and the wind was not gonna hurt it. And as soon as the snow melts, I will be able to go and get it out of the snow, probably, hopefully, put it back up on top of the greenhouse. So I should still win at least 2 weeks before my last frost, which is kind of the point of having a greenhouse. But I'm guessing I can still probably make like a month before. Yeah, tomorrow, Dave. Double air gap hoop house is dirt cheap to build. Biggest cost is a thermostat, fan with shutter exhaust, and wire to the house. Down here, you have to let the heat out during sunny days. Around here, when it gets minus 40 Fahrenheit, it happens, minus 40 Celsius. It's the same temperature. Trust me, there's not many things that would resist the cold. I do not care what month it is. Sun's stupid brutal all year yeah, it's true. I was actually reading something about that today when they say that, a myth is that you shouldn't be wearing sunscreen in the winter because it's pointless. But the truth is, we have winter because the sun is aligned differently. But in theory, the sun is even closer to the earth. Putting hammock in the greenhouse in February is the best. Hello, Chris and Steph, or Chris/or Steph. Nice to have you here. I missed your live stream on Tuesday. I was still exhausted from my weekend, but I'm glad to see that you finally started going back live. I will try to get things ready next Tuesday to be ready for your live stream because I love listening to you guys. You have so much to teach. I call you the living encyclopedia. So, it shows the respect I have for you guys. And I miss you, and I want to talk to you soon. There's no time like tomorrow to start, Dave. You have 332 subscribers. The thing is, when you do a live stream, you get a lot of watch time. And when you get watch time, your numbers go higher and YouTube will promote you a little bit more. So it's a win-win situation. Plus, you can monetize the live stream. And, of course, us, your favorite YouTubers, will support you and watch. If we can make it to the live stream, we will watch the replay and give you a bunch of watch hours, and we will watch some ads if you have some, but obviously you're not monetized, so it doesn't matter. I'm not sure, Tracy. We haven't seen any sunny days in the last year from what I can remember. It's been raining, I think in July we had 1 week of first week of July. I was on vacation. It was nice. We had nice weather with sun and everything. And then from there, in the last 20 days, I think we had 2 days where it wasn't raining. And 2 days is probably exaggerating because I don't think we had 2 straight days without rain. We haven't been super regular on lives yet. Yeah, are you gonna share your new channels that are coming? And second question, is it already started? I followed your recommendation and I decided I was going to do a little change up on my channel as well. I will still be showing some of the gardening stuff, but my main focus will be going outside in the wild, spending time in the nature, going for hikes, foraging, showing the beauties of our nature that we have around here, survival tips and stuff like that. Maybe build a little cabin on my dad's property at some point. It was the best moment of the day after school. Smell of pea and small plants and the heat from the sun, hearing the snow falling from the greenhouse. Yep, 2023 is almost gone. Yes, hit the thumbs up. I am not sure if what I'm seeing is correct. I only see 4 thumbs up. 6. I see 13 people watching. So I should see at least 13 thumbs up. Okay, I see 13 thumbs up. Which is fine. It's fine. You are on the wrong side of the lake, Tihan. That sounds pretty awesome. It is nice in our porch greenhouse in the spring when the sun's out. It's amazing how warm it gets. Yeah, I've been thinking about building something on my balcony. The only problem is, as long as I can't make permanent roof on top of it, it's pointless because there's water going on the floor and going down below, and I'm afraid at some point the garage will collapse. I have a few 2x4s holding like my chicken coops and so on. So it is having a little bit more support, but you never know how much damage water can do until it's too late. So, but I would love to have like a nice place to go and sit and relax. Carrots and rabbits, and we could absorb breeding every garden animal. Yeah, true. And if you ever have a chance to go and visit them, if they ever invite you, say yes and go because it's awesome the way that they have everything set up. I keep saying what you see on YouTube and what you see in real life is not the same thing. You always have those images in your head that, you know, even with Darren at Thornton Farm, where you imagine this building is there, the garden's probably there, they have their fruit forest back there, and when you get there, it's a totally different thing. It's all mixed up, and when they do their videos, they're only showing one part at a time. Someone following me could probably have a better idea about my garden here, my property, because I often walk with my phone from the garden to the front of the house and from the other side and so on. But yep, I heard they chose Griffiths Air Base in Rome because of the cloud cover. Just a boatload of info. Yeah, that's what I would say as well. We have got them up and running. It's a slow progress. 7 thumbs up. Okay, so pantry living. Go to channel. Life raising sheep. Go to channel. It's cool that you're doing that. Okay, so you're changing. Oh no, what did I do? Crop farm. Life raising sheeps. Pantry living. First channel is pantry living. So that's the regular Hickory Croft farm. Oh no, not even. Why did it open the wrong thing? Oh, probably clicked the wrong place. Okay, that's my bad. So pantry living with Hickory Croft Farm. You already have 63 subscribers. Obviously, I will get all the notifications. It's kind of cool because I love learning from you guys, and I'm trying as hard as I can to support all of my friends. I don't have sheeps, and it is very cool and very interesting to see the sheeps. But I will not have to rush as fast to watch your sheep stuff. No offense. It's just that, you know, I don't have sheeps. So all the gardening stuff, pantry, Welcome to Pantry Living channel trailer. So I will have to watch that stuff. I kept those two open, and I will show some love in the morning tomorrow. But it's pretty cool. The only difference between you and I is I don't have time to handle 3 channels, and I will just have one, and I will try to focus a little bit more on the nature side of things. My hunting videos and fishing videos are the ones that are usually doing better. So those are the ones that I want to focus on, and hopefully have more people following me. But that's pretty cool. 4 thumbs up. That's awesome. I see 14. That's nice. YouTube thumbs up does not update. Only watching does. Yeah. That sounds like a good idea, doing the outdoor stuff. It opens up a lot of opportunities for things you can do. Yeah. And I'm still going to show a little bit of the garden, maybe like a pantry tour once a year of everything I harvested from the garden and so on. But I will not have the pressure to try to teach gardening stuff because I don't have much to teach, and I don't want to miss anyone, but Hanny has her tomatoes that she's so good at, and the amount of things she can grow on a small property is insane. We have Marilyn that has a different approach to things, where she has a bunch of things growing together and working together, and the rabbits. Chris and Steph, you do so many things that just, it's insane the amount of things you can do. We have Tracy that's living off the grid. Dave Knight with the greenhouse and all that kind of stuff. He grows peanuts and so on. I have none of that stuff. Honestly, I started learning about gardening pretty much at the same time I started my YouTube channel. And my goal at first was to show people that you can start from scratch at the same time as me, and we can learn together and get somewhere. And right now, not only do I have over 6,000 subscribers, I can grow over 1,000 pounds of food in the garden, which is something I never thought was going to be possible. The first garden I ever had, I had one radish, which was about the size of a golf ball. One radish. And 4 years later, I had 1,000 pounds of food grown from my garden. I mean, I have moose meat, pork meat, turkeys, chickens, deer, trout, bass. I've been foraging and so on. I can bring in 2,500 pounds of food, if not more, which is starting to make a lot of sense for my family, trust me. But by showing a little bit more about the outdoors, it's something I was raised doing. When I was a kid, just a sec, I have a message from, my cousin. Let me just put you on mute just for one tiny second. I have a message from my cousin that might be important because my daughter's babysitting his daughter. Just a sec. All right, so he just wants to make sure that I go pick up my daughter when he's done, and no problem with that. So yeah, when I was a kid, as much as I enjoyed playing hockey in the winter and soccer in the summer, during the weekdays, I couldn't always go and play with other kids around, or the ones I could play with were my neighbors. So what we used to do was go out behind the house in the woods, build some trails, and build those little little shelters. Just cut some branches and put this there and build a tree house. And when I turned 16, I built the first tree house that I was actually able to sleep in, to live in. And this is something I would love to do for my kids. have a greenhouse on my dad's property, and have the kids and myself be able to go and sleep there in the summer. That'd be awesome. And you don't need much to do that. Chris and Steph look so young on their old videos. They're still young. What do you mean? I would benefit from woofers. They need a crew to help labor. Just yeah. I hate it. Can you give me one more second? Just give me 1 second. I will put the music on. Sorry about that. Yeah, they would benefit from a crew, definitely. Everyone would. It's just sometimes it's expensive. We know exactly what you mean. When we went to visit Darren Bridget, it was neat to see where everything was. Like you said, you have a mental. Yep, exactly. And it was the same when we went over to your place. You have a mental picture. Like, even for some reason, I had Mike taller in my mind and you guys shorter, but you guys are very tall. Tracy is tall. It's not what I had imagined, but it wasn't so long ago. Yeah, you started your channel like 4 years ago. I did. I tested the hot tub the first year. I told him to make sure it was ready next spring. Well, you show me a map of your property, like on Google Earth or something like that. But I would still love to go and see at some point. It's just a very, very long detour. Yeah. Well, I still find it very interesting. It's just that if I have to choose, I prefer choosing the gardening stuff and preserving stuff over the sheep stuff. But I still enjoy it. Like, it's awesome that you're, because I have the mittens here that I won on one of your live stream and the ones I purchased at the convention this summer. And it's fun to know where it comes from, because you see those things in your hands and you're like, okay, this comes from that sheep that not that I petted them, but you know what I mean, like, it was there. I probably have it on film at some point, the one that you use the anyway, the one that you use to make the mittens. We have thought about woofers will help. We are not set up for it really yet, and by the time we will have all the fencing done. But your kids seem to enjoy doing it. I have finally been subscribed long enough to type. Oh, I didn't realize right away what you were talking about. I'm like, what? Steph? Know how non-subscribers feel? I just realized, I just saw the logo and what you were saying. I didn't realize that you were on the Pantry Living channel. That's awesome. It's giving me an extra view. Well, they have their Hickory Crop Farm, Pantry Living, and Life Raising Sheep. Pantry Living already has 63 subscribers, which is pretty cool. Raising Sheep has 30 subscribers, already 18 videos. So what you did was upload, not even. So, okay, yeah, you uploaded the videos you already had, I'm guessing, because I don't think you did those videos in. Yeah. Life Raising Sheep, Building a Homestead, Preparing Our Future, and 3 points. Your kids look so young. It can't be from 2 weeks ago. That's pretty cool, though. It's pretty nice. We will direct seeds sow on 2 different dates. I'm lazy. I'm doing Farmer's Almanac and Moon. I need fresh seeds from 2023 to make this test go right. I am almost done with all my seeds, but every time I think I am, I find some more seeds. Some bean seeds that I had in my bedroom. Yeah, Pantry Living, Life Raising Sheep, and Hickory Crop Farm. That's pretty cool. Teach your zone and what success and failures you have. It may not seem like much, but it's educational and critical for beginners in your area. Yeah, and for some reason, I find that most of the people in my area don't watch me. I'll have some people watching from all over the world, Vietnam, Philippines, even the United States, some people from Alberta, Ontario, Quebec, people from New Brunswick that are living in New Brunswick. I might have maybe 10 to 15 watching. And that's counting my girlfriend, my kids, my friend Serge, and a few more that I just don't think of. And you have done a good job of what we still remember some of your Facebook videos. Well, we try to pick something that represents us. And for me, it was pointless to try to go and teach about gardening. But at the same time, it was drawing me in. I fell in love with this way of life. Um, the food is a whole new level of food. Like, I mean, it's nothing compared to what you get at the store. When you think about fresh eggs, like, I'm not going to go to the store and buy eggs, even if I don't have any fresh eggs here. Right now, we don't have any. The ones we had in the fridge have been there for too long and they were not good. But I'm not going to go to the store and buy eggs as much as I would like. I have a few ones frozen, and it's actually working pretty well when you want to do like scrambled eggs or omelets or something like that. So I will keep doing that next year, and I will try to do it faster because we lost quite a bit of eggs this year because we just didn't have time to properly use them. But the food makes it all worth it. This community could definitely survive anything, and it's great that we can all share it. Yeah, and more, as much as I work in computers and stuff, I try to use the technology as much as I can at work to save some of the patient's information and things like that. All the things we charge to the floor and so on. If there was an apocalypse or anything that would cause the system to go down, What happened 20 years ago or 15 years ago or 10 years ago, 5 years ago, in terms of who destroyed that pill, who sent Tylenol on the medical unit, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter at that point. We have to keep it for legal purposes. But if it was something major happening, it wouldn't count for nothing. But at home, I try to have everything on paper. I try to have books. My girlfriend freaked out. She came in the bedroom and I was reading a book. Even I am impressed. Even I don't understand. I was never able to read. I still can't read a whole book. I will read like 2 pages every night, but I'm reading. Not reading like stories or whatever. I read about, right now I'm reading a book about plants in Quebec. It's a book from Quebec, plants native to Quebec, because we have like 90% of the same trees and plants in New Brunswick. And there's a lot of things in there that I didn't even know. Cambium and bark and different leaves and things like that. It's pretty cool to understand what you can do with that stuff. The Pantry Living channel is for all the cooking, canning, etc. The live risen sheep, well, for sheep, nice. Go, we'll wait. Sorry, yeah, I had to go. Channel is going to become more of the backyard scale stuff. Since we grow in a pretty small space, it's all the stuff others can do to the garden. Chicken, rabbit, growing the garden, stuff like that. Yeah, you could have. Messages. We've seen off-grid growers in Maine on the coast of Deer Isle. Style. Dennis and his wife had leeks growing ultra thick and super tall, and carrots almost as thick. Wow. Isn't Deer Island? Deer Isle. We have a place called Deer Island way down south in New Brunswick. And there's another island that belongs to New Brunswick, but there's no way for those people to come to the province without crossing in the States and crossing back higher in New Brunswick, which is pretty cool. And, they're crossing in Maine, so it could be the same area, I guess. It has been so fun going back and watching the startup of the farm, and it really helps us see how much progress we have actually made. Yeah. And one of the things that you have to keep in mind is consistency. It's one thing to upload a bunch of videos, but you should also keep in mind that if you have one video set up every Monday or every Thursday, you should stick to that plan. Try to do a bunch of shorts as well. This will get your crowd in. Super plant food they used was washed seed of the coast. Fully aged, clean, composted. The crazy amount of nutrient dense material it provides was wonderful free resource. Sorry. We have seaweeds here, and it's something that I often overlook. It's something I should go to the beach, grab a bag, and harvest. Well, not harvest, just grab some. They are there and free for the taking. Covered everything in seagrass. Looked like straw. Breaks down at nice. Yeah, I can see that. Being on the coast, the mist that settle every morning, water the plants. Cool. Um, we have some mist and fog here, but not enough to water the plants. That's the thing. It's always setting things up to work with the place. Go as well as you can. Yep. 2 weeks a year. Can you imagine? Usually we need them from this time of year. Like mid-December is when we start needing it. Even sometimes, like I've seen some years where early November we had snow on the ground. This year we don't have snow yet. Slowly deleting the sheep videos from the old channel and adding them to the new life raising sheep channel in order. I wouldn't delete them if I were you, because you have some activity on them. You might still get a few views here and there. Worst comes to worst, just put them private or unlist them, but don't delete them. I wouldn't delete them if I were you. It would be a comfortable 2 weeks for sure. Yeah, the one I brought didn't last long enough for Chris to even try it. Right? Steph? We mailed over 2,000 seeds overseas to one of the only homesteaders we know. Revent from Star Homestead, India. We also send them prunes because I'm a jerk. Cool. I didn't even know you could send seeds and stuff like that overseas. I didn't even think you could send it over like across the borders. Yeah, if I go out for a walk, I will probably have them on. They're so warm, comfortable. I love them. I love them. So many layers: dead bark, live bark, cambium, sapwood, heartwood, and pith. Then you got growth rings and modulary rays. It's insane the amount of things you can get. I have enough mist to not be able to sit on the chair or on the ground in the morning, but not enough to water the plants. Yeah. And that's the thing. I was talking earlier about how tomorrow morning I want to get up and do the farmer's market. I forgot to tell you about the little event that we have, the little family event we have with the kids around supper time. We're having a potluck, which means everyone brings a little something for supper and we will share the food with the family. And it's a Christmas cookie decoration activity with the kids. Now, it might not seem like much, but the kids enjoy it, and that's the main thing. I have so many things to do, and I don't really want to go all the time to the mini handball practices. Once I'm there with my kids and I see my kids playing and having fun, how can I ever regret getting involved? So when you have kids around, Christmas takes a new meaning. Hello, Dan. GearGrin19, thank you so much for being here. So many nice channels here tonight. That's awesome. Yeah, we have this little potluck. I am thinking about bringing chicken wings. I want to bring salsa and make nachos. Someone already claimed it. So we will take some of the chicken wings that we have from our own chickens. I'm not exactly sure yet how we're going to cook them. I want to cook them in a way that it's not too messy, but at the same time, I want to have something that tastes good. We don't have barbecue sauce here, but it doesn't mean that we can't stop to the store and buy some tomorrow morning. Once you clean out the cambium layer, go crazy and air prune and make more trees. Right up on the edge of the limb you're attempting, forget if it has to be your role. I want to start duplicating apple trees and things like that. Propagating. I have those little plastic balls that you can put around the branch. You remove the bark, you put that with soil, and it's supposed to allow the nutrients to keep going and help the tree develop roots. I've heard some people saying it doesn't work, and my girlfriend's cousin told me that he's tried it like 10 times and it was like 90% success. So this affects your production if it's nuts or fruit bearing. Yeah, it will affect for a little bit. I do have some dry rub left. It's true that I could make some with them. It is salty though. Like it has a lot of taste. It's true that we could make some with the dry rub, but I want to keep the dry rub for me. Whenever I do a roast, this is what I put on. It tastes so good. Like it took a few months for me to open the bag and try it, but oh my god, it's good. Like a nice roast, slow cooked roast with dry rub. It's unbelievable. I'm planning to clone more elderberries this spring. The world needs more black elderberries. You didn't get one from me last year, did you? I know I gave one to Marilyn, I think. I don't remember if she took one. I think I brought like 3 or 4 of them. No, you didn't get one. I gave one to Darren, one to Angie, and one to Kendra. I'm trying to remember if I had an extra one. I'm not sure what Angie did with hers, hoping that she was able to plant it and it's still living. Mines were still okay in the fall. Maybe Annie got one. Yeah. Yeah, the dry rub is awesome. Yeah, you can brag. You have 3 channels. It could have been Annie. We have cloned a lot already. 23. Wow. We have a lot of. Hey, I was there. I didn't see any elderberries. I didn't bring any home. I planted seeds last year. I'll see next spring if I will have some sprouts. Yeah, it could take a while for them to sprout. I'm hoping that some of my elderberry trees will, take and survive. Yeah, maybe I saw them, Marilyn. I just don't remember seeing them. We saw some other plants, some other cool stuff. But oh, okay. So I just didn't know what it was, or I didn't realize what it was. It's probably it. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to build a fruit forest, and Marilyn sent me a link to a video about how to properly create your food forest. And I have some place down there, some space that I didn't use yet, that I can go and plant a bunch of like apple and pear trees. And the video was saying not to necessarily put like just bunch of apple trees, and then a bunch of plum trees, and then a bunch of pear trees. They were saying how you should mix things: one apple tree, one plum tree, one pear tree, um, one something else, cherry tree maybe, and around each tree, plant like bushes, like maybe not necessarily elderberries, but blueberry, camaries, honeyberries, raspberries, and then around that rhubarb and I don't know, maybe like something like mint or anything like that. But I have a bunch of mint planted in front of the house, and I don't mind if it spreads. I really don't mind. I'd rather have it spread in front of my house than behind the house. Um, maybe I don't remember. I don't remember not going in, but I don't remember seeing them in the greenhouse either. Miracle Farm method. It could be. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I have it saved in my watch later list. I watched it, but I want to have it for later again. That is what we did, starting our fruit thicket with the fruit bearing shrubs. Yeah, you start with the big ones, and the thing with the raspberries is they spread. They will grow fast. They will duplicate like crazy. Um, and you can just run over with the lawnmower when they're small. So you can go in there and still make a nice little trail. I have some that are probably going to come out in my the small greenhouse I have next year. I might have to cut them or remove them or whatever. I'm just afraid that if I leave them in the greenhouse that there will be some bee nest in there, and then I can go in if there's a bee nest because I don't want to get stung. So I don't want to get stung. So yeah, I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do in the spring. I want to do a fruit forest. I still have my dad's property that I have the green light to go and clean, even though I was told that if I do so, there's a chance that other family members might go and grab the apples, which I don't really mind. And like, of course, I don't want to put all the work and not end up harvesting anything. But then again, it's not if it's not wasted. It's a good thing. It's for a good reason. We need to sort out some of our raspberries too. The yellow ones are running rampant. I don't have any yellow ones. Annie gave me one. I might have one that survived. Hopefully, it will come back in the spring. But it's behind a property where the grass grows tall. So until I can find a way to mow the grass back there without going through my little tiny garden that I have in front of it, and without killing my rhubarb that is growing inside of it, I'm just hoping that the rhubarb can take over, and so does the raspberries, and kind of kill the plants or the weeds that are growing next to it. That's my goal anyway. Any old crabapple tree will work as a base. Add your clone propagation and keep the lead central reasonable in height and keep scaffold limbs. Chop off trunk suckers. Prune easy during. Yeah. I have one old apple tree that I harvested in the wild. I brought it here. It died, but it has those suckers coming out. And I was told that if I keep like the one main sucker from it and let it grow straight, I could probably just cut it and graft another tree on it. This is something I want to try anyway. I found a scab on a raspberry plant this fall that were just beginning to look good. I read that there's nothing we can do to remove that. Scab? What's a scab? I had fun pruning apple trees on a farm for a master class in my 30s. So sorry. I have to prune my apple tree. Um, I haven't done it since I have it because it died. The first winter it died. It was eaten by mice, I'm pretty sure, and it died. But there were two branches below the part that died that kept growing, and I managed to make them grow like straight. Now I have like two main trees, but they're still, um, they're still producing. 2 years ago, I had about, you know, 50 pound of apples on it. Last year, um, I don't know if it's a fungus or just because of the heavy rain we got, and I had the same thing this year. We had a weird spring, so I don't know if it's because it has a mushroom fungus growing on them, or it's simply because of the weird spring we have. The apples don't really grow, and the ones that do tend to have this little like brownish texture on them, so they're kind of weird. And you're talking about apple cider. We had a potluck at work this week, and one of them brought what I would think would be considered like a fire cider, uh, apple cider, warmed up with a bunch of different spices. And oh my god, it was so good. Like I have a recipe. I'm gonna try it and make a little video on it at some point. I'm eating my raspberries with ice cream. I clean mine to make sure there's no worms in them. I freeze them, and then I will either do some wine because I have a wine kit here, or I will simply put them in a smoothie at some point. Okay, some sort of a fungus, I guess. You can work with two suckers on a dead tree. So I could use two, and I could like graft two different kind of apple trees. Once infected, nothing to do, and will remain there forever. Makes a stem dry or fruit dry before becoming. And what happens if you were to remove the raspberries? Like if you remove the whole plant from that area, would it eventually come back normal, or is it like infecting the roots and all? If you have fungus on hardwood, it's dead. Yeah, well, the tree is still very healthy. It produces a bunch of flowers in the spring. You can see they're fertilized, but it seemed like this summer, especially, it seemed that like the apples were starting to grow a little bit, and as soon as you could see that they were actually apples, uh, it was just fall on the ground, and you know, I ended up at the end of the season with maybe like 3 or 4 apples, and they were not good. Yeah, I guess it's one of those plant that really spreads like crazy. But it's kind of cool though because where my raspberries are, there's no weeds growing between them. So I can just go and mow the lawn around them. Hopefully they won't grow in my greenhouse. If they do, I'll have to change my little tiny garden from there. I have another place I could put it though. We just need to make another little garden bed, I guess. And I could keep all my raspberries on that side of the house and just keep, passing the lawnmower between, like make some nice aisles and stuff like that. And see, I was told that raspberries were really hard to kill. The strawberry farm that we have behind my house, they used to have raspberries, and they told me that you can come and pick whatever you want because we're getting rid of the raspberries. We will just put everything in the trash. So I'm like, okay, I'll go and grab like a dozen of them. And it told me it was really hard to kill, but I managed to kill them all. So mowing around them is a good way to contain them for sure. Well, it's like anything else. If you mow the lawn, like, you told me at some point that mint was growing like crazy and it would spread. What's the worst that can happen? Instead of having dandelion or other kind of plant, I'll have a bunch of mint, which will push away the mice because I have big rodent issue here, and it'll make some tiny flowers for the bees. If I mow the lawn and I end up mowing mint, it'll smell good. That's it. That's all there is. The rest doesn't matter. I don't mind if it smells good. You break roots, you can't even see, and the plant goes into shock. Yeah. I guess that's probably what happened to mine. My experience is only blueberries. And the problem I have with blueberries is that we can't grow them here because we don't have acidic soil. I have a few plants behind the house growing next to my spruce trees, and I'm hoping that it's acidic enough. Because if not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lose my plants. But I'm trying to plant a lot of honeyberries. I have black currants, white currants, red currants, honeyberries, cherries, gooseberries, grapes. And apparently grapes can take over a yard pretty quick. Now, I don't mind that either. If not that they would take over my property, but I can cut them to make sure they don't grow on top of my garden, and I can make sure they grow in a specific place. But I would love to have a bunch of grapes. They were so good. It will kill a plant eventually. Bring beer. I'm not going to waste beer. That's for sure. If I have beer, and in Canada, any motored vehicle, even if it's a lawnmower, you cannot have alcohol on it. Just so you know. Probably know, but it's funny because a raspberry patch is just on the property line where a neighbor passed a weed tractor, so no raspberries on his side. He also has a row of rose bush. That cool. If you like it, it's pretty cool. I want to go and find some rose bush and plant some here. Unless the offending plant is creeping Charlie. The bees love it, but it absolutely takes over everything, and no animal seems to like eating it. I don't even know what that plant is. Creeping Charlie. Out ivy. Okay. I don't think I have that here. At least not on my property, which is good. Yep. Honeysuckle. Yeah, ascaps. I have some here, and apparently it takes a good 4 years to start producing enough to be worth it. I am on my fourth year this year, but I had to transfer them because they were not where I wanted them to be, and I transferred them. So it might be another 2-3 years, but they're old enough. Is it my daughter? No, not yet. Okay. Just want to make sure my daughter's not texting me. Well, I've been on for 2 hours. Creeping Charlie is horrible. I'm glad I don't have it here. I've been on for 2 hours. I didn't even have anything planned, and I was able to talk and blabber for 2 hours. That's awesome. I will let you guys go. Move on with your weekend. My daughter's going to call me soon to go get her. It's early. Yeah, it's early, but it's 10 p.m. for me, and my daughter's is babysitting, and I have to go get her soon. So instead of just, waiting until she calls me, I'm going to get ready and be ready when she calls. When I end my live stream, you will be redirected to Scott with Rambling with the Brooms. Another awesome dude from Ontario. He's doing an open night kind of thing where you can go and have a little chat. And yes, it was good to catch up. It's nice to have you on my live stream, all of you. And I'm happy that I was able to find your new channels. Have a good one. Looks like Sorel. Okay, good night. Take care, everyone. I will just end with some tiny music just because I feel like it. Let you go for a few seconds. Transfer you to Scott's live stream. Take care, everyone. Peace out.